On June 11th of this year, NHMC was in Congress advocating for strong and loophole-free media ownership rules to prevent media consolidation. Hello everyone, I'm Alex Nogales, President and CEO of the National Hispanic Media Coalition. How does media consolidation occur? Basically, it occurs when media companies buy each other out, eliminating competition. There is more to media consolidation, and testifying on NHMC's behalf was our Executive Vice President and General Counsel, Jessica Gonzalez. In her testimony, she highlighted the effects of media consolidation and declining diversity over the past 2 decades has had on Latinos, other people of color, women, and what has to be done to prevent its ill effects in the future. Jessica Gonzalez.
I represent the National Hispanic Media Coalition, a media advocacy and civil rights organization working towards a media that is fair, inclusive, and accessible to all people. What happens in an overly consolidated media system that fails to reflect American multiculturalism? Here's an example from the radio industry, which is already plagued by major consolidation. On Clear Channel radio stations across the country, listeners are fed a steady diet of racism and stereotyping. According to some Clear Channel pundits, Latinos and African Americans are dangerous, Asians are cheaters, women are sluts, immigrants are animals. At a time when this country should be developing its proud multicultural identity, instead, this dehumanization of women and people of color is normalized over the public airwaves. We as parents of young children of color and young girls have to figure out how to explain these slurs to our children who don't see color, but yet are told at a young age that they are different, or they are feared, or they are less than. The harms of this rhetoric are deep and well documented. Clear Channel has 850 plus stations in over 150 cities across the country. It exploits the lack of strong radio ownership limits to insulate its stations from free market accountability mechanisms, such as losing audience share or revenue. It is totally out of touch with the communities it serves. Media ownership limits are vital to the health of our democracy. These content and race-neutral rules promote ownership diversity, viewpoint diversity, localism, and competition. Broadcasters and newspapers play a critically important role in informing Americans and influencing attitudes towards people of color and women. Broadcast TV and radio reach over 98% of us, and reliance on over-the-air TV is prevalent in poor, rural, and non-English speaking communities. Internet sources are far from achieving parity with broadcasters when it comes to disseminating information, particularly local news. First of all, 1 in 3 Americans does not have home broadband access. Rural communities, Latinos, African Americans, seniors, the poor, people with disabilities, and non-English speakers are far less likely to be connected to the internet. And traditional media sources like broadcasting and newspapers are still responsible for the vast majority of online local news and information. The courts, Congress, and the FCC have long recognized a nexus between minority ownership and broadcasting diversity. Yet, people of color, who make up more than 36% of the US population, own less than 3% of TV stations. Women own less than 7%. Media consolidation and joint sales agreements that allow big media companies to circumvent the ownership rules are bad for diversity. Immediately after the 1996 Act relaxed ownership limits and the minority tax certificate was abandoned, women and people of color were pushed from the market as conglomerates grew. According to a 1997 NTIA report, relaxed ownership limits created a significant competitive advantage for group owners who are more likely to be non-diverse and have greater financial resources. That media concentration drove up station prices. The FCC's recent JSA ruling, on the other hand, creates opportunities for diverse owners and small businesses to enter the market. NHMC envisions a country in which broadcasters reflect American multiculturalism and serve the information needs of all communities, promoting diversity and localism with strong media ownership rules within the FCC's existing regulatory framework, and using your lawmaking power to reinstate the minority tax certificate are important steps towards achieving that vision. Thank you, and I look forward to questions.
Ms. Gonzalez, thank you for your powerful testimony. We appreciate your comments.
Powerful testimony indeed. Media consolidation has its ill effects, as Jessica outlined, and we'll be hearing a great deal more on the issue in the very near future. Stay tuned.